Virtual reality, Peter Brown.
I'm in it right now. We're all in it.
Nope, you're not. This is the real world. This is not virtual reality. I know you spent most of last week with the stupid, dumb Oculus goggles on your face. I want to talk to you about that. First of all, did you have lines around your face this weekend?
Yes. No, it didn't last this weekend, but no, lines, you get lines in your face for a solid 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. It's like taking goggles off after doing a bit of like scuba diving.
It's almost exactly like taking goggles
There you
off.
go. Except no fishies. Although I'm sure they have the fishies VR demo as well.
Yes.
Coming soon. So you spent all last week, or what seems like the majority of last week, playing lots of different games on the Oculus Rift.
I actually focused on a small handful of games.
Okay.
I wasn't trying to go for the entire gamut of the launch lineup because we're trying to review some games. So in order to do that, I have to focus a little bit.
Yeah. So you were playing what games like Chronos, Eve Valkyrie?
Chronos, Eve Valkyrie, Lucky's Tale. I tried playing some Adrift before I got a sick. Sorry. Yeah.
I didn't even realize it was
Mike
a
really
joke
hated
until
it.
now.
That's good.
Zoned out for a
It
second.
wasn't a joke. It was a
That was
dumb
my
thing to say.
So I guess I want to talk to you. You're like the litmus test, right? You're the person who's actually spent a bunch of time in it, because most of the people I've talked to about this have spent 20 minutes on a show floor somewhere, or have spent an hour maybe at a developer's. So what were the like time frames you were using the Oculus for, and how did it feel coming out of that?
Yeah. Well, coming out of it definitely depends on what experience you're playing.
Right.
I mean, I used it anywhere from 5 minutes in a sitting to a couple hours at a time. And you certainly feel odd after a long session coming out of it because for one, your sense of presence has now shifted back to reality. And with that, looking at my watch was really strange because
Really?
yeah, the passage of time it skewed slightly.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah, it's not.
How so?
It's not like I thought only 20 minutes had passed and it had been 2 hours,
Fucking
right?
existence.
Right, but I mean, it's on the order of maybe what felt like an hour was 2, like something like
Okay.
that. Like it can be pretty dramatic.
Is that the case
Honestly.
with regular video games maybe as well? It just,
Yes, yeah.
It feels more
Yeah, but
crazy.
But when you pair that feeling with what you get from VR, which is immersion, even if it's a game that is not like a first-person experience, is trying to recreate reality, right? Like no matter what, anything you're playing in VR, that's all you're looking at. That's all
Right.
you can see, no matter where you turn your head.
Yeah.
So you are immersed in that experience, even if it's not the world that you're immersed in specifically.
So, like, I play a lot of Rocket League just randomly for 20 minutes here or there, or maybe like an hour here or there. And what I find is a lot of the time I'm thinking about just regular day-to-day stuff. Like I'm thinking about my taxes or thinking about what I'm going to do in the week. I'm not really like actively involved in what's happening on the screen. In virtual reality, do you feel like you're sort of more engaged with the moment to moment, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Or does your mind still wander?
It's an escape.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, I can't make it any simpler than that.
Yeah.
Like really, at least I felt very detached when I was playing a game that I was invested in mentally. All those things I was just describing a minute ago kind of inform this isolation that you have from yourself, even to a degree, because there's nothing to distract you. It really isn't.
And so, like, what's it like taking it off and then coming back? Is there any like physical aspect to it that's like trying to recenter yourself, or is it more of a like when you come off a roller coaster and you're like, oh, okay, now feet back on terra firma and I'm used to this?
Things felt a little alien for the first minute or two because you really are like as much as it takes you to acclimate to VR, coming out of it requires acclimation as well. And I can understand how what I'm saying sounds like maybe extreme or somewhat contrived, but at least myself, I was very much into the experiences that I was engaging with, and coming out of them felt very strange. Not in a bad way, and not in a way that lasted for a long time or gave me an existential crisis or anything like that, but it was definitely like, okay, this is actually my day. This is what I'm doing. I'm not following this fox around the woods. I'm not crawling through a dungeon, fighting monsters.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Not that I ever really believed I was, but I think you get what I'm saying.
So, because to me what you're talking about there sounds far more, impactful than maybe any one of the individual video game experiences. Like just the sort of the the sense that exists around using virtual reality and the way in which it sort of messes with your psyche a little bit.
Yeah.
That almost sounds like what's more interesting than the games themselves. Is that why you're so excited about it?
At this moment, yes. The sort of the grander feelings that VR gives me is what has me interested in what it can do for gaming, but also what it can do for passive experiences like video. It's really important that people give this a try and really think about how it makes them feel before writing it off, because VR is freaking special. It's very different from everything we've done before. And I put up my review for Lucky's Tale today, which is the game that's bundled with every headset. It's really middling. It's not that great.
Third-person, colorful platformer.
Yeah,
right?
and you know what? Like, it's fine. It's totally fine, but it doesn't really sell what's important about VR. And so I stated as much, and some commenter was saying like, oh, you really shouldn't be doing this because then people are going to think that VR isn't that great. Like, you should really try to like prop it up so everyone likes VR. And it's like, no, because the tech is there. If you read the Oculus Rift review, you can see why I think that's important. But the games right now still need to catch up. Eve Valkyrie, Oculus, or Chronos, those are both really great games, but they're still just kind of tiptoeing into the waters of what VR can do.
Yeah.